What is general paper? Introduction. We all know that qualifying for NET can be a challenging task. Some of us are very good at our main subject. But many students struggle with general paper on teaching and research aptitude. Before we jump into paper 1, let's talk about NET a little. Well, most of you are completely aware of this exam. That's why you are here with me. But as a proper ceremony, everything should start from zero. I want to start with what? So here is our first question: what is NET? From the official site, you get that the National Eligibility Test, NET, is to determine eligibility for lectureship and the award of Junior Research Fellowship, JRF, for Indian nationals, to ensure minimum standards for the entrance in the teaching profession and research. Remember, you need to qualify for NET to do research. We have come to the next question: who? Who conducts this exam? And who is eligible for this exam? We will start with the first. The main body of this exam is UGC, established under the Act of 1956, whose main objectives are the coordination, determination, and maintenance of standards of university education in India. But it took them 32 years to start the NET. The first NET exam happened on 22nd July 1988. In brief, the first JRF 1984, first NET 1988, common to both eligibility for lectureship and junior research fellowship in two parts, in December 1989 and March 1990. At first, NET was conducted by the University Grants Commission and then the Central Board of Secondary Education, or CBSE. Since December 2018, the National Testing Agency has been conducting the National Eligibility Test. Now it's being conducted online instead of offline, called CBT or computer-based test. Now we have come to another who is eligible for this exam. 55% marks for the general category and 50% for others in the master's degree appear in the subject of their post-graduation only. The next question we have is when. So the answer to this question is unclear due to this pandemic. But as per the press release by the Government of India, the exam would be conducted twice a year, in June and December. Let's now talk about the pattern of the exam. Well, this test will consist of two papers. Both papers will consist of objective type, multiple choice questions. There will be no break between papers. Paper 1 will have 50 multiple choice questions containing 100 marks, and Paper 2 will have 100 multiple choice questions with 200 marks. So altogether, 300 marks, 150 questions, and you get 180 minutes or 3 hours to solve them. So I guess the introduction to the exam is done. Shall we bounce back to Paper 1? Yes or no? Yes. As we began this introduction, I said some of us were good in Paper 1 and some were not. Paper 2 plays a huge role in determining your success in this exam. Most students ignore getting high marks in Paper 1. They think qualifying with minimum marks is enough for them, and they completely rely on their main subject. It didn't make a difference in the past, but as the competition for this NET has grown. Right now, this exam is attended by many students from different subjects, making it a big challenge to qualify. Suppose you secure over 70% in Paper 2, but you fail to get a high mark in Paper 1, your chances of qualifying NET are very less. That's why you should pay more attention and give equal value to Paper 2. The syllabus of Paper 1 is small and easy. It is mentioned what they will ask. So the chances of getting higher marks are more, whereas Paper 2 is quite vast. Again, ask yourself this question: does Paper 1 decide my success? The answer is yes, it does. You have 10 units from different topics, and they will ask 5 questions from each unit. Isn't it straightforward? It tells you how many chances you have to obtain high marks. Let's talk about each unit one by one. In Unit 1, we have Teaching Aptitude. It would be best if you had natural thinking to answer a few questions, including teaching objectives, concepts, and teaching characteristics. This unit also includes learners' characteristics, level of understanding, and the factors in learning and teaching. In this unit, we also have a teacher or learner-centered teaching methods. This unit includes ICT-based teaching, how to evaluate students' performance, and innovations in teaching and evaluations. After teaching aptitude, we come across research aptitude in Unit 2, where they ask about research meaning, types, methods, and the steps of doing research, which is quite useful if you are hoping to do research. This unit includes the ethics behind research and makes us aware of how ICT can be applied in research. Unit 3 is mostly based on reading skills. You will be given a passage, and based on that, they will ask questions. So in this unit, you should know how skimming and skipping work. We have an extensive collection of different types of paragraphs to exercise, which you can find in our rapid-fire program. Unit 4 is based completely on communication skills. You will get at least 1 or 2 questions on its meaning, types, and characteristics. If you have looked at the previous year's questions, they frequently ask about effective communication, like how verbal and nonverbal play a huge role in teaching. And you will certainly see one question about the barriers to effective communication. There are so many ways to communicate in the modern era of social networking, so no wonder they have included mass media and society in this unit. To test your IQ level, they have included mathematical reasoning and aptitude in Unit 5, where they mostly ask for number and letter series and their code and relationships. You will be asked questions about loss, profit, fraction, ratio, time, and distance. This unit can consume time, but it gives you a solid advantage to score high marks because the level of the question is elementary. In Unit 6, you will be asked questions on logical reasoning, which is time-consuming and will mess up your mind. But if you prepare well for this section, it will give you the advantage of scoring high. This unit also has some interesting topics, like the structure of the argument and its fallacies. You will get questions on the Venn diagram, Indian logic, and the types of reasoning like deductive and inductive. We will be thoroughly discussing this unit in our Paper 1 course. We have extensive reading material on Paper 1 and a huge bank of questions that can be accessed in our rapid-fire program. Unit 7 is more or less about the graphical representation of data. You must have seen questions in previous year's papers that they give a table full of data and information, and based on that, they ask questions. You will probably get almost 3 to 4 questions based on the table. You will not only get to see questions on qualitative and quantitative data, but will also get to see at least one question on data and governance. After your IQ test unit, you will have some easier topics, like in Unit 8, where you will be asked questions on ICT, which is basically on modern communication technology. There will be questions internet, intranet, email, and conferencing, which will be easy to solve. You will face little difficulty with digital initiatives in higher education and ICT in governance. But don't worry, it doesn't have so much content. A couple of hours is enough for them. As I have said, we will provide enough content, guidance, and questions to tackle the paper and secure a high score. The last 2 topics are based on your general awareness of people, development, environment, and, most importantly, India's higher education system. In Unit 9, You will find questions on environmental issues and their impact on human health. You will see questions on natural resources, gases, natural hazards, and disasters. And not only that, but also you will be asked questions related to environmental plans, different government initiatives, and efforts to protect the environment. Lastly, we have Unit 10, based on the higher education system in India. These questions mostly relate to establishing different education bodies and policies in India. The process of Indian education throughout history in post-independence India. So here we have a brief introduction to Paper 1. It was wonderful to have you guys with me. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. So I will take a leave and see you on the other side of the course.